Hi, it's me, Sigma. I am your kind and benevolent DM here on Oblivion, a Star Wars story. I'm going to give you guys the rundown on what's happened so far, but before I do, I want to remind you guys that the best way to keep up with the campaign, both this one and the sister campaign, Eclipse, a Star Wars story, is to subscribe to the channel for updates and make sure that you hit the little bell. Alright, I'm done with the self-promotion. Let's get down to it. Previously, on Oblivion, a Star Wars story. Our rebels, along with the assistance of Steel Team, were able to pull off a wicked heist. After infiltrating the Jacksakal compound, they exfilled with weapons, medical, and food supplies, and codes from the Imperial database. On the way out, B1 discovered the location of the Raven, Aura's ship that was shot down here on Janundal. The rebels are then taken to the base in the mountains where they reconnect with Alphalis, Joris, and the DJ Tunes. As Aura, Jakk, and B1 all head out to meet their liaison to go get the Raven back, Narsor got an unsettling call. Now it's time to divide and conquer as our heroes go about their mission, but are they ready for what lies in wait? There's only one way to find out, so let's get to it. Welcome back to Oblivion, Star Wars story. Today I'm joined by Origami, B1, Dobrax, Jakk, Narsor, and Ophelia. This is now officially the full cast. Gelmore, sadly, due to life, has had to take a break. He may or may not return some point in the season. However, until then, we wish him well and wish him good luck. And if he's ever listening, we miss you. So, um, let's talk about what happened last time. Right before we hung up for the night, last time around, B1, Jakk, and Aura had gone to meet a woman by the name of Laswell Falkrow, and she was going to help them get the Raven, um, uh, uh, Aura's ship, back from the Imperials, because it is currently being held in a salvage slash, we'll call it an impound, for the area, and we can explore how the ship was shot down later. But that's where they are right now. And then Ophelia, you said you stayed at base and you were kind of telekinetically phoning in to their mission, and then Narsor, Dobrax, and Gelmore. Gelmore's going to be staying at base most of the time. He may make an appearance as an NPC at some point or another, but he's staying back at base. Narsor, Dobrax, and Ophelia are all still in the base, which I have given you all a layout of. Now, there is something that we're gonna kick off here in this episode that everybody needs to be aware of. We are going to start implementing a system called the Intel system, and what you can do upon Intel, or not upon Intel, what you can do upon finishing a mission is gain what's called actionable intel. So the way that intel is going to work is when you guys complete a mission and you guys are gaining experience, you guys may choose. You guys can take a choice. Up to 3 people on the mission because I think that any more than that, you guys would probably gain a huge advantage over the Imperials, and you guys have your own advantages. They have their own advantages, but I think a maximum of 3, and this is subject to change, but a maximum of 3 people is good. A maximum of 3 people can choose to swap out the experience they would gain from a mission to gain a piece of intel, and that intel can be anything. Intel is, or good intel, I should say, because we'll cover bad intel in a second, or not bad intel, questionable intel. Good intel is a question that I must answer, I, the DM, must answer truthfully. Like, let's say you wanted to know how many stormtroopers are in a compound. I would truthfully have to answer the number, like 56 or whatever. You'll never have to deal with 56 stormtroopers by yourselves, hopefully. But I will always answer truthfully to good intel. Questionable intel is when you pick up a piece of intel in the mission. This is any. It'll have to be a very specific set of circumstances to be good intel found inside of a mission. But if you pick up a piece of intel inside of the mission, I have the choice to give as little or as much information when you ask me that question as I want, and I can even fib if I wanted to. So good intel, or actionable intel we'll call it, is instead of getting experience from a mission, you get a question that you can ask me and I will answer honestly. And then questionable intel are pieces of information that you can pick up throughout a mission. Like, say instead of spending a bunch of time hacking a console and going over, unless you want to go over everything that's on the console, you can just say you hacked a console, got into the mainframe, pulled out intel, and we will mark that as acquired questionable intel. What we're going to do now is we're going to kind of see where everybody's going. So I will say that it's not too late for anybody that wants to join B1, Aura, and Jakk. However, there was something that was also gone over at the end or during last episode, and that was your targets, your potential targets for elimination or capture, or maybe turn them to the rebel cause, whatever the case may be. You guys were made aware of the Imperial governess and the lead Imperial scientist for the sector. And I believe Ophelia said she wanted to look into the governess, but I could be wrong. By the way, you guys don't have to sit muted if you don't want to. It's cool. So, yeah.
It sounds about right that I would want to snoop on her.
Okay. Then here's what we will do. We have 2 roles that we should probably perform then. If Aura, or not Aura, Ophelia, dang it, I keep getting it mixed up. Ophelia, you're going to do some snooping, then you need to know where this person, like, how does that power work?
I always thought of it more very similar to almost like Stranger Things, where uh, if shown a picture and sort of deprived of senses, so like a sensory deprivation, whether that's blindfold, whatever, it kind of zones out and is able to target them. Probably, the more obscure their location, the harder it is for her to focus in and find them. It's not so much that she needs to know exactly where they are. She'll be able to find them. But the image or sort of scene that is painted in her mind through the force can be kind of spotty depending on how far, how closed off, if that makes sense.
No, that does. That makes sense. Okay. Then here's what we'll do. Okay, we'll treat this as kind of 2 separate tangents. Really quick, I want to make sure, is there anybody else that's going to liberate quote, quote, liberate the Raven. Like I know Aura's going, B1's going, and Jakk is going. Narsor, are you going to stay with Ophelia and possibly look into the governess too?
Um,
Dobrax, what you doing?
the only question that Narsor would ask is, where more Buckethead?
Honestly, there's bucket heads
I
everywhere. So Dobrax, what about you?
little
I assume that looking into the what's her face? I've already forgotten. I'm
The
big
governess,
brain. The governess. I assume that'd be somewhat safer and less stressful.
probably yes.
Yeah, then I'm gonna stay doing that. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're gonna do some rolling here. Ophelia, I need you to roll plus weird, please.
12.
Holy cow! All right. All right. What's that,
Mhm.
Narsor?
I think Narsor likes the idea of breaking into an Imperial base more than snooping.
Okay. So in that
Given
case,
recent character development, I'll explain it how Narsor would explain it.
Oh
More or
boy.
less, to start off, that
here we go. How
that
few words can we use? Ready?
we're gonna start off with a little bit of context in the situation first. That friendly yet powerful aura that Narsor gave off whenever you were around him.
Aura as in the vibe he's giving off, not aura
Yes,
as in
as in the
origami.
vibe, it has made a drastic shift to that of an aura of hate, and anger. Very drastic. Very present. Very like you sense he's ready to beat anyone at a moment's notice. So, to explain, if anyone asked, what's up with Narsor? Narsor would simply say, Bucketheads killed family.
Yeah, it's a big oof.
It's a really big goof, and I'm fearing for whatever poor Imperial steps in front of him next.
They're about to get wailed.
Yeah.
Mm,
You mean they're about to get
yeah.
whacked? Let's talk about Ophelia's vision. So, Ophelia, you close your eyes, and let's say that you're sitting in the Force Library. So you're sitting in the room, and the lights are turned off, so it is very, very dark. But there seems to be light coming from somewhere, so that it's just barely illuminated in the room. And you close your eyes, and you sit there for a long while. At this point, B1, Aura, Narsor, and Jakk have all left. Um, and we'll say Dobrax comes and leans up against the wall and watches you, Ophelia. And it's okay. Does Ophelia have any like outward appearance as she does this? Like, do her eyes glow?
Well, her eyes are
Does she give
closed,
off? Well, yeah, but does she glow a little bit? Is there kind of like
I
any
mean, she
feeling in
would.
the air?
There's probably a feeling in the air. It feels. I mean, it feels almost as though her she's like a ghost. She's not truly there. You can see her, but she's not. She doesn't have a very strong presence there. She kind of only. It only feels like. It only feels like a mirage almost. Like she's because she is looking and astral projecting herself somewhere else. Um, she almost feels as though it feels almost as though she's just a ghost in the room.
Okay. Dobrax, you see kind of this spectral Ophelia, and not she's not see-through, but again, like she said, very mirage-like. And you know that feeling when you know you've built up static electricity and you feel kind of fuzzy, and it's that moment that you have right before you touch something metal and you get shocked by the static electricity. it's kind of that feeling that you have, this tingling sensation all over your body. Are you flipping out, or are you like, what do you think is going through Dobrax's head right now?
Dobrax would be just kind of watching this all kind of unfold, watching as this person sort of phases into not really existing, for want of a better term, as you've said. His heart rate's kind of building up, but he's trying to keep calm, knowing that this is a friend. You're not going to die, most likely.
All
So
right.
he's just going to be trying to calm.
The chances of you being killed by Ophelia are very, are slim, but never none.
You open your eyes, or you think you open your eyes, but they're not your eyes. You are looking through the eyes of the Imperial governess, Elise Van Trevor. You see yourself in a mirror, um, about 5.5 feet tall, short, cropped hair, that's brown, very thin, and kind of wiry almost, dressed in a governess's uniform with the bars on her. I forget if it's always on the left side on her, on the left side of her uniform. And uh, are you able to step out of her and look at the room around her, or are you only able to see through her eyes?
Um, if if this vision is strong enough, and she's getting a clear picture, then yes. But
Well, you rolled a 12, so I'd say that
so
it's pretty
yeah,
doggone
yeah, she
strong.
can.
So
Yeah, so she can sort of step out and sort of like that ghost kind of. I keep wanting to say astral project, but basically like project
we
herself
get it. It's
almost.
like Doctor Strange-esque, and
Yes,
stuff like that.
yeah.
So you walk over it's a round-ish room, I suppose, or not round. The room is mostly, it's hard to explain. Okay, think of a circle and then cut a crescent moon out of that circle, so you're left with either a waxing or waning moon. It looks almost
It
full,
looks like
but
a
not
crescent.
quite. Yeah, no. Think of a 3/4 moon.
Okay.
It's that shape, where along the shorter edge, um, is a window, and you walk over to that window and you look out onto the city, and you don't quite know where. Like, do you inherently know where she is, or would that
No,
require
not
more?
unless you were actually familiar with the area.
Okay. You look out onto a cityscape. You see ships flying around above. Um, you see below you. Um, you see landing platforms, as well as a wall surrounding the um, the kind of section of the city that you're in. And you turn as the door opens, and you take a step back because you see somebody that terrifies you. How ingrained? Okay, so your department that you came from was very unusual. Do you think it was incorporated more with espionage or force sensitivity?
Definitely espionage. She was used as a weapon of espionage.
Okay. Do you remember the alien from episode 1? the weird thing that walked on its
I'm looking at it now.
yes. It is
I
called that is
mean,
called a Dug. A DUG. And this not only is the race not that pleasant to look at, this particular individual terrifies you because you know who it is. It is a high-ranking ISB officer, and for those of you who don't know what the ISB is, it is the Imperial Security Bureau, and you know this person as the Torturer. That is his handle. That is his operative name. Nobody knows his real name, but he enters this room that the governess is standing in, and the governess takes a small step back and straightens up a little bit, and says something that is inaudible to you as the vision starts to fade a little bit, and you see like how vivid are the senses that Ophelia has while she's in these spy missions.
her sight and hearing are probably definitely the strongest. Smell, not really sure unless it was, that pungent, but
All right, I'm gonna have you roll weird one more time to see if you can regain control of the vision as it starts to fade a little bit because you're losing your hearing.
7.
I'll give you a choice. You can regain your hearing but lose your 3D view, or you can lose your hearing and retain your 3D view.
I will gain the hearing, but so does that mean I like snap back into the Empress's eyes, basically?
Yes, you're back in the
Yeah.
governess's body.
So I will snap back to the governess, but regain the hearing.
She says, I hope your trip was not too terrible, officer. And he speaks in a language that I'm not going to try and say because that is
Rosetta translation.
that's called fandom suicide. Do you understand him or no? Because
Would
unless you
depend.
understand what he's saying, you're only going to get one side of this conversation.
Well, if she knows him, I would.
You know
Unless-
of him, not you don't know him directly.
So okay, so she's never spoken to him. How obscure is this language?
It's just as obscure as I want to say it slides along the same lines as like Japanese, maybe.
Maybe if she's come in contact or like knows of them, maybe she'll pick up a few words, but probably she's
Roll
probably not fluent in this.
roll plus sharp.
6.
Okay, mark experience. You don't know. Hey, Dobrax, you still there?
Yes.
All right.
Fucking library. Why?
Okay. Ophelia, you don't know what he's saying, but Dobrax does.
Oh.
So, Dobrax, no. Here's what happens. You're sitting there and you feel this tingling feeling grow stronger, and then it feels like you're inside of one of those what is it? What's the like plasma ball looking thing where it's got the generator in the middle, and when you put your finger on the outside, an electric arc goes to it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and it pulls it to yeah.
Yeah, it feels like you are the center of that thing, and it feels like little tendrils of electricity are attached to you. It doesn't hurt, but it tingles like crazy. It feels like your entire body has fallen asleep, and you hear clear as day a deep guttural voice, and it is the voice of this Doug that Ophelia can't understand, but his voice is being translated and talking to you. So the conversation is as follows. I hope your trip wasn't too difficult or strenuous coming into the city.
It was about as pleasant as any other ride I've had on an Imperial shuttle.
I see. Well, I hope that your quarters suit your needs.
Yes, I have found them to be quite suitable to what I will need during my stay here. I assume that our dear uh, scientist has been in contact with you.
Yes, he has been talking to me, and I have been considering his proposal, and I still am hesitant to let him go through with it. I really don't think that it is a sound plan.
Governess, there is no question that our dear scientist Cadeau, uh, there is no question that there may be a few credits missing from his cache, but I will say that when it comes to the scientific method, he is very, very thorough. He would not do something that would jeopardize your safety or the safety of your citizens.
The governess sighs and nods and says, I certainly hope you're right. Do you know when the others will be here?
I do not. A report has come in recently that the uh, proceedings may have to be postponed.
I see. It's a shame. Well, I suppose we'll just have to proceed with caution then.
Indeed.
And then, like that, Ophelia, you snap back to the present, and Dobrax, you feel fully awake and back to your senses. The lights in the room go up, not full brightness, it's still really dim. But you two look at each other, and you both say at the same time, that was crazy. And so now we will bounce over to the away team. Let's talk about what you guys are going to do.
Wait, question.
Answer.
Can anyone feel the hateful and angry vibes Narsor is giving off?
I think Jakk can, but since B1 is a battle droid and probably probably does not have the best ability to pick up on social cues, and Aura is not force sensitive.
Hold on. Go back to the part where you said I was not force sensitive. I thought I was.
You are? I'm not going to rain on your parade. So then, yeah, but okay, so you're force sensitive, but is it really finely attuned, or have you paid more attention to not force things in your life?
Yeah, I haven't really been messing around with the force.
Okay, so it's kind of like that, almost that Ray vibe, where it's untapped potential. It's there, but you don't know that
Pretty
it's
much.
there. Okay.
Well, no,
cool.
like I know that it's there. I just don't do anything with it. Like I just don't really care about it right now.
Okay. Cool.
Right, that means
You're gonna
everyone but
care
the
about
droid
it
can
real
feel the-
fast soon. Oh boy. All right.
So, wait, no, hold up. So everyone but the droid can feel these angry, hateful vibes.
I return. Sorry about that.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, speak of the droid, yeah.
Yeah, speak of the droid.
Roger.
Roger.
There's supposed to be
Can we
another
just
Roger.
officially
Are
name
you
him?
really our droid?
Roger. Roger.
Okay, there
Can
we
we
go.
please just name him? Can we try and give him a name? Where it's like, can we name him? And then he just says Roger, Roger, and was like, yeah, that's his name.
Roger.
name is
Roger
Roger
the
now.
droid.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Can we please name him Roger so that way when we
Yes.
eventually come down to the scene where the Imperials are trying to break into homes and he steps out and levels his blaster at him, B1 can say, "Get the fuck out of my neighborhood." Pew! I'm Roger and this is my neighborhood. Pew pew.
It ain't a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
It's about to be an ugly day in this neighborhood. You guys approach this compound from the southeast. You see a large gap where ships can fly in low and come into the base, but you also see this very tall wall that is not too dissimilar from the wall of the compound back in Jacksakal. Upon circling the compound to the northwest, you meet Laswell behind a group of buildings, and she looks at all of you and says, "So, you guys are the ones that wanted to get the Raven back, right? Like, this is a big deal. Like, I heard about this. I heard about the bird getting shot down, and it was a big thing for a little while, and then the pilot just vanished. Are any of you guys the pilot of this particular vessel?
That would be me.
Roger, Roger.
Wait,
Point.
question: how is she reacting to Narsor?
She's okay. So she's looking you up, she's side eyeing you a little bit. But she's not really. She's more surprised by B1 than she is by you, Narsor. But she's not giving too much away, and she says, okay, then I guess I should just give it to you guys straight. I'll help you out a little bit. Um, there's a gate to the north that you guys could probably con your way through. I have a way that you guys could get through, or you guys could go through the giant hole in the wall. However, that too is probably guarded so that people don't just, wander in. But
You know,
I'm at
Narsor's instantly smacks his fist into an open hand
she
and
looks at
looks very excited at the concept of beating up Imperials.
she looks at you and raises an eyebrow and says, Is this guy gonna adhere to the whole stealth in and fly out protocol?" She
What
asks
stealth?
you she asks you, Aura,
Don't worry about the whale guy.
"What's a whale?" I'm kidding.
And that's how we broke the entire universe. Because we
Yeah,
didn't know
for-
what a whale was. 'Cause whales
for
don't
a
actually-
second there was the sound of shattering glass. That was the sound
That
of
was-
the fourth wall being broken.
So that was the sound of the Matrix just collapsing around us.
Yeah, my
No
mind
kidding.
just lost a few more brain cells. Thanks.
All right. She nods and says, "All right, if you say so. I have a way that you guys could probably get into the compound through the front door, but your best bet's probably sneaking in through the side, unless you guys have a way to get over the wall."
Can Narsor just eye the Jawa, eye the top of the wall, and then eye the Jawa again?
That's something for you guys to discuss
Oh,
in
no.
character, not something for me to go over.
Narsor is eyeing between the Jawa, the top of the wall, and back to the Jawa.
Listen,
Jakk is
constantly.
going to, he's gonna like shuffle over away from Narsor.
okay. She waves her hand a little bit and says, "Hey, so there's something that in exchange, in exchange for helping you guys get your ship back and all that good stuff, I'm going to need you guys to get something for me too. You see, there's something in their evidence lockup that technically belongs to them, but they think everything belongs to them, so it really belongs to me. I'm gonna need you guys to get that thing out of lockup, and as soon as you get it out of lockup, you'll be fine. Don't ask me how I know. It just will be okay. Um, it's kind of a package deal. There's the thing, and then there's a box of stuff that you guys will need to procure, and yeah, it'll all be great. It should all be in evidence lockup. I just don't know what building that is. And she grimaces a little bit and says, but I can help you. I can help you get in the building. That should be no problem at all. And um, she gestures to a land speeder she has parked around the corner, that has a couple tarps laying on it with some boxes in it, and she says, "I have a cover up, or we can go all stealth mode."
Okay.
Whack.
What is it that you want?
She says, I'm coming with you guys, so I just need help getting that out, and it'll be okay."
Look to the other ones. Sound good?
Yeah,
Whack.
I just kind of look around at everybody, and then I just kind of say, "Sure."
And she says, "Fantastic. You need me anyways, because getting your ship out of lockup's going to require some codes that only I have. So, yeah." And it is here that I'm going to say that you guys may expend two lifelines. One of them is Ophelia, and the second one is something that Laswell has. Ophelia can obviously see into the base and see some things going on, and Laswell has something that will help you all in whatever way that you need it. AKA, I don't know what she has, but it'll be some kind of, oh, here we go, it's a help out. But I have a general idea of what she has. Anyways, those are your two lifelines. You have Ophelia and you have Laswell. So, how are you guys going to get into the compound? The front door or the big gap in the wall?
Well, the person we're helping mentioned having a way to help us, right?
Yep, that would be the front door.
What's the plan for getting in the front door?
Well, you guys would be able to hide in the back of that particular land speeder there, and I would be able to drive you guys up and in, because they do receive supplies for the compound, and I can get you guys into the base. But if you guys start setting off alarms, then the front door approach will be no good. So I don't know. It's up to you guys.
Is there a way we can split up?
Yes, you may split up and search for clues. Ruh-roh, Raggy, what?
Yeah, so is there a way that we can divide our team and have some people go with her in the front door and the other half go through the side door, just in case if anything happens?
Yes. So who do you want to go around the side? I'm going to take a guess and say that one of them is Narsor.
Probably. If he
Okay.
wants to.
Okay, then, yeah, I guess we'll say who wants to go where. Who wants to try the Trojan horse scam with Laswell?
B1 does.
Okay.
Sure, I'll take a shot at it.
And Jakk. All right. And then who wants to boomerang around the side and try and slip in under the radar?
I'll do it.
Narsor, where are you
Narsor's
going,
coming with
buddy?
me.
Narsor goes wherever someone says whack can happen.
Okay, well, I guess you're coming with me because I'm gonna need you to whack things.
Whack!
All right. All right. So Jakk and B1 load up on the speeder with Laswell. Jakk, do you guys hide under the tarp in the boxes? Does one of you take shotgun? Like,
You already know what B1's doing. He's going in the back and he's folding up.
cool deal.
I'll take shotgun. Yeah.
You'll take shotgun. You're not gonna hide in the back.
Well, isn't B1 in the back as well?
Yes, but it's. I mean, there's room. So I mean,
Okay, yeah.
if you want to hide back there, you can. If you want to take shotgun, you can. Up to you.
I might as well hide in the back then.
Okay. Then you guys hide in the back, and you guys approach the front gate, and you hear Laswell start talking to a stormtrooper, like, "Oh, hi. How are you guys tonight?" And you hear the stormtrooper reply,
State your name and purpose, and why. It's fine. Why are you here?
"Oh, I'm just here to deliver y'all supplies. Got some food in the back. A couple sets of tools broke apparently, so you know me, right? I've been here before."
I've never seen you before in my life. Let's see some identification. Please and thank you, ma'am.
Laswell is going to act under pressure. 13 double six. Whoo! All right. She says, "Yeah, sure," and she hands the soldier her documents, and he hands them back and directs her through the gate. And you feel the transport moving underneath of you as you go into the compound. And now you guys both of you guys roll plus sharp to peer out from underneath the tarp, and Narsor and Aura do the same as you peer around the end of the wall. So everybody needs to roll plus sharp.
Oh no. Sigma,
13,
you know he's
10,
dumber than a sack of bricks. Sigma, you know he's dumber than a
Narsor.
sack of bricks.
I don't care.
Kind of the point
Roll
why he's doing
plus
it.
sharp. That's a
Oh
4,
my
please.
God.
Mark
Hey, look, there's
experience.
experience.
Oh no.
All right. Narsor tries peering around the wall. He's just peering into the wall. Aura,
That's actually a very Narsor thing to do.
Aura,
Staring at the wall.
B1 and Jakk, you guys all
More or
peer out. Aura, as you peer around the wall, you look into the building, and you see something that fills your heart with joy. You see your ship. You see the Raven. But something is a little amiss here because she's parked right next to a couple of Imperial TIE fighters. It appears that your ship is being impounded in the middle of an Imperial hangar. Jakk and B1, you guys peer out of your hiding spots underneath the tarp on the hover transport, and you look at the circle and square buildings, and you see that they are the circle building has a very large door, but it looks very secure. And you deduce that that's probably where the evidence, where Imperial evidence is held. And then the building that you are going towards, the square building, is salvage and reconstruction. You guys park just inside the square building. Laswell, Jakk, and B1, and you guys peer out from underneath the tarp, and it is extremely warm in here. You see off to the side there's a furnace for melting metal. There are several pieces of equipment for large construction, but mainly just scattered around this giant warehouse are pieces of wreckage that are being put back together for examination, and also just old equipment that's being taken apart to be melted down and then put back into use for the Empire. Aura and Narsor, what do you guys do? You're kind of chilling out behind the wall. To
Narsor's
the
squinting at the wall, trying to find the Imperials.
Oh, I see. Aura, what are you guys doing?
Well, obviously we don't want to get caught, so I guess I kind of just look to Narsor and ask, what do we do?
You're asking the person that has an
Whack.
extremely
Shot.
limited vocabulary. I will use this again. You're asking the person who has a vocabulary that's basically 2 pages, one-sided, 12-point font of vocabulary what you
I
should do
swear his
next.
character is like the Benjamin Button of brain function.
Is there a way that I can sneak onto the ship without being spotted? And just I mean, I don't think Narsor will be able to follow me because we will be spotted. But
Whack.
There's a
way
pretty simple way to do that, but I'll let you figure that out. You're across the way from this giant building with ships inside. The Raven, she looks a little worse for wear, but definitely looks pieced back together. Probably good as new, or rather old, since you got her rather old when you initially picked her up. So what do you do?
I want to see if I can sneak onto. You know what? Actually, can I use Narsor as a distraction while I sneak onto the ship?
Oh, I thought
Sure,
you'd never
why
ask.
not?
Oh, I
Okay.
thought you would never ask.
This is gonna be fun. All right.
Just point him at an Imperial, and it'll figure itself out.
That's
Okay.
exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna point to an Imperial and I'm gonna say whack.
Narsor. Is there an Imperial for Narsor to see?
Yep. As a matter of fact, he's kind of leaning against the corner of the triangle building, right next to that doorway, or right around the corner from that doorway. He doesn't see you because you guys are kind of in the late evening shadows. It's just past dusk, so you guys are kind of in the shadows. He doesn't see you guys yet. So
As of last session, Narsor's pure drive had changed to anger, specifically against the Imperials. Upon immediately seeing this Imperial and being actively encouraged to go whack, that hate and anger that you feel off Narsor kicks up to 11 and he's in a rush.
okay.
Narsor is running dead at the imp.
All right. Narsor, I'm gonna need you to roll to kick some
Kick
ass and take plus
Roll it.
1 because you're running, and then Aura, I'm gonna need you to take plus
What?
cool. I need you to roll plus cool to act under pressure, but gain plus 1 to your roll because Narsor's acting as a distraction. Oh my God, that's a 15.
Let me see. What do I get to add again?
That's
That's
a big whack.
That's a large whack, and I think I get to add something to it.
Oh God.
For record, I am whacking him directly in the bucket head with my fist, and if you give me a moment, I believe I can add more damage to it. That is not a nice whack. I want my attack to inflict double the normal harm, which then kicks it up to a +2. Not a +2, to 4 harm, ignoring armor. So Narsor just runs
How's it
in,
how's it plus 4? I thought your attack did plus 2.
if it does +2 and I double the normal damage.
No,
Isn't that
yeah,
what it
double the normal
said?
harm. Yeah, but it's 4. Okay, yep.
Yeah. So Narsor just runs up and just wallops his left fist to crack its head right back into the building.
Okay. Aura, you rolled a 7 on your act under pressure, so I'm going to give you a oh dear. I'm gonna give you a hard choice. Narsor just walloped this guy, and you're about halfway across the field. Narsor is kind of just breathing heavily, and it looks like he's getting ready to go off on his own. But that would require reining him in and perhaps not not triggering the alarm just yet would require you stopping to kind of rein him in. But at the same time, you can make it to your ship. It's a clean shot from you to the on ramp of the Raven. So will you stop to direct Narsor, or will you take your chance to go to the Raven?
I'm gonna try to make it straight for the Raven.
Then here's what happens. Aura makes a beeline for the Raven's on ramp. She makes it and sprints up into the ship that she has called home for ages. Narsor, on the other hand, decides, I'll go inside. And he steps into the base's barracks.
Oh no. But oh yeah.
And Jakk, B1, and Laswell, and now Aura as well, as Jakk and B1 stealthily get out of the land speeder, as Laswell distracts the Imperial worker who's on duty. You both have a hard time resisting the urge to stand up straight as you hear a loud echoing bellow.
Whack!